So I'm going to believe that everyone can see my screen now. So what I've got here is I'll be speaking about marketing in the age of COVID-19. And the crux of my talk today will be around the word BC and AC. I am hoping that you know what that means, and then I've put ADV in inverted, um, what's it called, parentheses, commas as well. And then I'll be speaking of the crowning of a marketing virus, marketing in a crisis, COVID-19, and the opportunity to sell. I'll also be speaking to how not to spam your captive audience. So essentially, I'll start by saying, look, we are in a different world now, a different world from what the one that we woke up one night to, we slept one night in and then woke up in another world the next day. It's things have changed totally dramatically from the way things formerly were to now. The change is amazing and so different. And as the world changes, it behoves us as marketers, as people who live in a world that has changed, to take steps, adjust, and to continue to live. The world changed, the world has changed significantly over time. This is another one of those changes, that we have to adapt to and just make happen and just make work for us as best as possible. My second slide speaks to life in the age of COVID. So I've got some images here just to show us, the kind of world we live in now, and give us a sense of what has changed significantly. And one of the very first ones, of course, is the fact of isolation, neighbors. I've got images here that speak to, maybe love in the age of COVID and beyond, areas of social distancing, images of social distancing, and an interesting image of sort of like punishment, when you flout social distancing others in a world like today and now, that it just gives us a quick sense of, look, everything has changed, everything is changing, and it's up to us now to start adjusting. Our world before, so the world BC for me is the world before Corona. Now, the world before Corona, we used to have Mondays where we used to complain about almost everything. Mondays, traffic, we wondered where our weekend had gone, how much we hated Mondays. Mondays equaled meetings for some of us. And then Mondays at the beginning of school terms is school fees. And then you had your wife, husband issues or, love as it were, and then school runs, everything, used to happen on Mondays. Tuesdays, third mainland traffic for 4 hours, and those who don't do third mainland traffic, one traffic or the other, and then your stressing boss at work, more meetings, your colleagues, sometimes you call them incompetent, this person has done this, and there's always all that drama, going on, and even more traffic as you go home. Midweek, you begin to smell the weekend. You're thinking midweek service, midweek traffic, maybe you have some after work drinks, more traffic, you're tired, school runs, etc. Thursdays used to be like, oh, weekend is coming, well. And then, of course, there's still regular traffic, wherever it is you are in the world, there's always that cosmopolitan traffic that you have to deal with. And then sometimes you had wished that you could just work from home. Sometimes it's drinks with the boys or girls, almost meeting deadlines, knocking your heads together to get to it. And of course, during the day, of course, there's still school runs. And then there are Fridays, everybody is happy, it's TGIF, native outfits, I am the weekend, drinks, clubbing, everything, more traffic. Something I've called is not Shino, it's something like I've called Shino, just misbehaving generally, for those who know what that means. And then Saturdays, late mornings, Owambe, party, jollof, small chops, more traffic. Sundays, usually for church, and then you start thinking all the arguments around, should I give tithe or not, offerings, and then you prepare for Monday, the day of your dread day, as it were. And then it all changed dramatically, and I'll show you how it changed in a minute. And part of the change, if you look at this image, it will show you how the world used to be and how it probably will be going forward. So you've got, I like sports, so please don't mind me. I've used some sports images here. And if you look at these images well enough, you'll know the football club I support. I'm not going to say which one it is, but please do not think it's the one on the top left or the one at the bottom right. I'm not saying any more than that. I, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we used to have packed football stadiums, person to person contact. I also love Wimbledon and tennis and everything around it. And yes, we used to have all those packed places, but our reality going forward may be more of the images actually at the top left, top and bottom right, empty stadiums. Right now, everywhere is empty. Anyway, so I then looked at with the World ADV. ADV for me, is the world after the virus. And that's what I've Nigerianized it a bit, for the D to be, instead of THE, I've used D there anyway. And it's all the same, every single day is the same right now, from a staying at home point of view. So you stay at home, you work from home, eat, sleep, work, and you work 8 to midnight on, gosh, that should have been work days, almost every day, almost every single day now is like a Monday. It's a constant revolving Monday. All I wish to work from home, the wish had been granted, but what are we able to do with it? Actually, work, just work and more work. For those of us who are very lucky to work, for those who are going to school, it's almost like you're constantly studying. Those who are online, doing one thing or the other, it's all just been one stretch now. So where you had a variety, your Monday could turn out like this, Tuesday could be better, Wednesday could be. Right now, it all just is one monotonous block, and to be honest, maybe that is a reality that we need to start dealing with in one way or the other. But one of the more significant things is, no matter what it is, no matter how we all come out of this, our life has changed. I remember that, some of us had that conversation long before now, around, look, how does the worker of the future, what does the worker of the future look like? Will they be working from the office? With all this talk of robotics and stuff, will we still have people working from the office? Should people just be working from home at their own convenience, properly managed as it were? And now we are seeing that, what, we didn't want, a lot of us didn't want a number of things, but here we are, exactly what we didn't want is what we're getting. Okay, so some more images of current reality. I just thought to spice up the presentation with some of this. And we've seen these are more images of Lagos, to be honest, taken from the internet. So I don't own copyright, so apologies for all the owners. I'm hoping that it's okay to share and to educate ourselves. So we've got, yes, the Lagos governor, who people have considered as really taking the bull by the horn, with this coronavirus issue, with his proactiveness in Lagos, the fact that they are doing quite a bit, and the fact that corporate organizations, I should have included that there here as well. Some of the corporate organizations supporting this fight or this battle against the virus. Good. So okay, so I'm now going to go into some of the a bit more detail around I can't, okay. Oh, sorry, something around the marketing the virus. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to talk about this coronavirus issue, the crowning of a marketing virus. Now, this is one virus that has almost like taken on a life of its own. We've had viral infections in the past, we've had issues with virus, we've had, but we've not had it this bad, to be honest, especially in recent memory. Things are now totally different from what we had all been used to in one way or the other. The coronavirus has taken on a life of its own. It's taken over our lives in ways that we had not thought possible. This is the very first ever virus with a CI, and for all the marketing people here, you know what a CI is. It has its own corporate identity. There's a way that you write it, there's a way that you pronounce it as well. So your CI becomes, how to even write the coronavirus. How do you pronounce it? Is it COVID-19, COVID-19? What is it that, that we're doing, or how are we relating sort of like expressing this coronavirus thing. It's got everything around it, all the news channels, everything is focused around corona, which is interesting, in the fact that it's taken over our lives. Audience engagement in this time as well has been almost like 100%. Coronavirus has thrown up more issues around uh, fake news, than anything else. When this whole thing started, and there's still people who are believers that it's caused by 5G, or it was released from as a bio terrorist weapon of some sort, all sorts of stuff, keep going around. And in this age of the virus, what we are finding is that audiences are more engaged, and people are almost ready to lap in any and everything, as long as your communication is in some way related to the virus. You are getting people, tuned in and turned on, wanting to share, wanting to. So, quick tip, for a lot of us during this corona period is we're seeing that, look, find something, tie your communications to the corona epidemic in some way. Don't make it fake, don't also be too obvious, or don't be too begging, as it were. And you'll find that people will latch onto you, and people will essentially um, be willing to listen to what you have to say, especially if it has something to do with the coronavirus. Um, and the virus has elevated marketing forever. I believe strongly now that there's no way that we're going to, walk our way back from this to where we used to be. Like I said, the world has seen viruses in the past where all the isolation, wear face masks, wear gloves, everything that we're doing and we've done before. We weren't here, a lot of us weren't here then, but we have images and we have stories of, how the other flus and pandemics in the past, or epidemics in the past, had elicited certain different behavior in us. I feel like with this coronavirus and the age and time that we are in, there's almost like no walking back. Things have changed, and it is up to us marketers to find the marketing strategies to respond appropriately in the age to come. So beyond the age of now, what's going to happen in the age to come? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen to some of the marketing channels that we're used to, that right now we find that we can live without, that we're not even thinking of, and what's going to happen. We need to, again, start thinking about, and marketing mix as well. The mix for now, is totally different from what it used to be. All the push around, oh, you have to be on this particular channel or on that particular channel. Well, everyone is coalescing everything into one place now. And to be honest, that place is online. So the winner really in all of this is the digital channels, versus everybody else. Even for print media that's still printing, some print media are still printing. Their digital versions is what's circulating more than anything else, as it were at this time. So that for us is also an important, thing to look at around the marketing mix, at this time. And for me, I've also been a bit cheeky here to say, look, this is the virus the world I've been waiting for. I've also felt like we've become stayed in our ways and in our life, for so long. We've done the same things over and over and over again. Our parents before them, their grandparents. The last time the world changed significantly, I'm not sure that any of us here can remember, how one day this and then the other day, apart from the digital evolution, everything else has almost stayed the same. So this coronavirus offers us that opportunity, offers the world the opportunity to make that leap forward, progressively, in my opinion. When you look at the impact of the virus on marketing, messaging, content, and at this time, like I said earlier, it's all really about COVID-19, and its impact on lives, and that's what people are tuning into. That's what people want to hear. Say anything else, and you've lost them. That is the fact. Plenty of fake news, around this period. Plenty of spin as well. People saying, sorry. Okay, sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. So people say that people are seeing a lot of stuff. You are seeing a lot of words being traded, around it's about error, it's this one. A lot of stuff out there. How do you determine what's fake or not? Some of the information that we're getting is correct, but to be honest, a lot of it isn't. But that's also the kind of thing that you can expect in a time and a world like this where things have changed dramatically. I've also included here the idea of things, new words added to our lexicon. Before COVID-19, I assure you that nobody knew what Corona was. Apart from the Toyota Corona car. Up until now, when you see some of those polls or some of those skits, video skits, and even some proper sort of like short interview videos, people are still saying the only Corona they know is the Toyota. And so new words added to our lexicon include the Corona and with a different meaning entirely. Coronavirus, COVID-19. At some point here, had played around, including COVID-19, but I changed my mind. Wuhan, nobody knew Wuhan. At least a lot of us didn't know Wuhan until this virus and its issue started. Contact tracing, social distancing, quarantine, work from home, lockdown, isolation center. I'm Yoruba, so please pardon me, those who don't speak Yoruba, but I'm going to try and explain what this means. It's called Kanikapo. Now, Kanikapo is a Yoruba term that spoke to community living, being a member of a community, going all together and making. But nowadays we have heard that working together, being together, as a community, that's what kills us. So where it was Kanikapo, yeni yeni, the more we are together, the better we all get. Now, the more we're all separate, the better it is for all of us. And then palliative healthcare workers, chloroquine. Chloroquine made its way back strongly into our lexicon, worldwide lexicon. For some of us, the hearing the word chloroquine again, at some point my body started itching. I just remembered all those. Wow, start looking for Puritan, to sort of like mitigate the effect of the after effects of chloroquine. Chloroquine would heal you, but it will scratch the living daylight out of you as well. PPE, I'm sure you all know what that is. So I'm not going to say what it is. And if you don't know this name, what are you living in this world of coronavirus? Fauci, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Yeah, I'm not also going to say who he is. Okay, maybe I should say is the chief medical officer, I believe, or something for the US. And a lot of the daily press releases, actually almost every single daily press release that the US President Donald Trump has had in these days of corona is being like the medical expert that everyone has been quoting. So you have to name. And then apparently there's Rona now online. Rona is the EP way of saying corona. People are finding new shortcuts for saying corona. So okay, not sure why this isn't on. Okay, just a second. So we'll take a look at how to not spam your audience in this season of corona. Essentially, again, it's the marketing mix. Look at your mix and see where should I put most of my communication. We're finding more and more, in our own experience, and I work at Firstbank. In our experience, we're finding more and more that look, email marketing is where it all is, as well as social media. Of course, press has had to take sort of like a small back step, stepped back a little now. But email marketing, it's offered us an opportunity to be creative, to reach our audiences in ways that we have not been able to reach them before now. That for us is critical. So you need to take a look at the marketing mix, make sure that you're also not spamming people with your emails. There is a cartoon that I'm sure CK will speak to when he gets back here after this. That said something around, look, we gave our email address to these guys 4 years ago, and now they are checking to see how we are doing in this age of corona. 4 years ago, you hadn't reached out to anyone, and then you now start spamming them. They will mark you as spam. So there is a need to be to look at our marketing mix and see how we did in our relationship, our one-on-one relationship with our customers, a lot more. And then how do you advertise to the COVID audience? The COVID audience is a very engaged and very informed audience. They are very, very turned on, any information around the virus, because it affects everybody. rich, poor, big, mighty. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what age you are. It affects everyone. So everybody is picking up as much information as they can around the COVID virus at this time. So how does your message key into that desire for people, people's desire to sort of like proactively guard themselves or safeguard themselves against? In the market, in the financial services sector, we have been very conscious, deliberate, about just advertising things that would showcasing our products that would enable people live through this this COVID period, as well as the lockdown, seamlessly. It's becoming even more obvious that, look, branches may not be all that they've always been touted to be. Upon even now though, I must say that banks are seen as essential services, so some branches are still open. Some Firstbank branches are still open at this time across the nation, and you can find information around whichever branches are open. We have about 370 of them on our website, firstbanknigeria.com. But what we're trying to do, more for than not, is we're trying to move people to alternative channels, to transact and to be able to continue to live and to stay off cash. Because one of the ways that we hear that the virus may be transmitted is through cash handling. So your channel selection and viral communications, you need to create communications that will go viral, communications that people will see and not just want to share, be very happy to share as well. That for us is extremely critical. And then use smart digital messaging tools as well as data-driven insights. So what's working? You need to constantly check, with this communication work? Working with smart tech, it's been amazing. Using the tool, we've been able to do A/B testing. We've been able to determine what sort of messages work, see what our open rates are, what our click rates are, and use that data, to continue to drive information as much as possible. I'll go to messaging that works, and I think I've spoken a bit about that. Tapping into the audience state of mind. Right now it's corona. If it's not corona, it's almost nothing else. But there's corona and there's security. So as much as people are looking to transact, they're also looking to how do we stay safe, in the world of today. People have always been a bit skeptical of technology, and so adoption of cashless banking, took a while, but now, people are more interested. A lot more people are signing up. People who had in the past not wanted anything to do with any of your online solutions are looking actively to sign up now. And now people are worried about how do I know that I am safe from fraudsters, that they won't empty my accounts. That's also critical information at this stage that people are looking for. And then creativity as audience vaccine. So the only way that you can cure this audience, of all the negativity around coronavirus is to throw in a very healthy dose of creativity. Be creative with your communications. Let people see it, and then not want to leave you or leave the comms, to any. That for us, is one of the things that we have found has worked. So if I'll show you just a few of the things we've done, and that speak to some of this right now. Find a way of rising above the noise, and then so in the corona wedding, I'm saying that, look, whatever it is, we are one with corona. What we've been told and what we are seeing is that our love affair with corona is not ending anytime soon. So it's not like after all of this, even when we start living our lives again, that corona is gone or that, it will get apparently to a point, according to scientists, and this is not me speaking, where it becomes one of those ones that will come, go, until the humanity conquers it. Our body ultimately gets used to most of these things, and therefore it then becomes something that doesn't threaten us anymore. But it will, for a while, continue to be with us. In the world of COVID-19, your communications budget, one of the very first things to go in a world where there's almost no business, nothing happening, revenue has dropped sharply, income is almost non-existent. One of the very first budgets to go is the communications, marketing and communications budget. But we believe that it is at a time like at a crisis like this that you empathize more with you, and therefore you advertise more. You must put yourself more out there. Let people see that you are the brand that supports them, because after all of this, they will remember you. There are plenty of copious examples of brands that have been there for people in the past. They've remembered them, and have constantly therefore been loyal to brands, that were with them in periods of crisis. So you have to keep advertising. Yes, you need to align your budget, as much as possible. But please, it's important that if there are any CFOs or anyone's CEOs who control money on this call, please know that you can't stop talking now. This is the time to talk the most. This is the time to talk your brand up above everybody else. And then you have to adjust on the fly to this radically altered business and communications landscape. I'm running out of time, so just permit me. I'm almost done. I've said just a few businesses that thrive in a pandemic like this include. So if you look here, you see that the only businesses that I have noted, and there are a few more, but the ones that quickly came to a head when I was doing this are the digital ones, so entertainment like Netflix, the meeting ones like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, webinars, stuff like GoToWebinar, and other means of virtual communication, like this telecommunications, we are only able to do anything right now across the world to connect, thanks to the power of telecommunications. So extremely important, and I've added here. But there's also food, there are the other essential services. There's healthcare, there is food, there's logistics. They are the very small, sometimes even and not known things, businesses or companies, and that continue to thrive in a pandemic like this. If you are thinking of a second business, maybe it's now time to start looking at going to start a rival Netflix for Nigeria or something. As I said, I will show you some of the things that Firstbank have done. And these are just images that we've dumped here in some way to show you how to communicate. Empathetic communications, I think, is critical. If you look at the image that says that's below the one that says buy data, it says remain committed to putting you first during this extraordinary time. Our CEO at Firstbank has constantly communicated with our audiences, with all our customers throughout this period, because we find that sense of empathy that we the customers are not forgotten in the midst of all of this. That always works. Empathy is critical at a time like this. So consider doing this. If you look at the image to the, I think my left, on the screen here below, it speaks to how we are also helping our customers stay safe, because we are saying, look, everywhere is on lockdown, but scammers are still everywhere. And we're also communicating more in other languages, in Pidgin, rather than just ordinary English. And other Nigerian languages are also coming up. These are some of the ways that you can. I'm running up now. I believe this is my last slide. Just some quick data, to share here. You'll notice that I haven't spoken to open rates, click rates of all our communications up until now, and it's very simple. Smart Tech, I've got all of that on lockdown, and I'm going to allow CK Chukwudi and the team to run us through that immediately after this. But some data from the American Association of Advertising Agencies, or 4As, says that 43% from a report that they've done, 43% of consumers find it reassuring to hear from brands they know and trust as COVID pandemic spreads. So did they know you? Did they trust you? When they hear from you, they are reassured. Sometimes people believe the information being thrown at them by brands because they know that it would have gone through a more rigorous process than just social media comments and stuff like that. So as a brand of note, are you ensuring that the communication that you're putting out there is the best possible? At that time, nothing, no fake anything coming out from you. 40% want to know how companies are responding to the coronavirus again. People just want to know that, okay, you haven't kept quiet and you're still, relevant, for me at a time like this. 15% that they don't want to hear from companies at all at this time. So these are the morbid, don't even talk to me. I am in a really bad state now, because of this coronavirus issue. So there are quite a few of those kinds of people, who don't want to hear from anybody. Just leave me. And some of those are the ones who will unsubscribe when you send them emails, or who will be very blatant and go to social media and say, "Don't contact me, leave me alone, don't disturb me." And then 43% of consumers believe the messages from retailers sound too similar and are losing. So again, this is where creativity comes in. How creative is your messaging? You still have to communicate, whether we like it or not. We still also have to say about the same thing, because businesses are, to be by and large, similar in orientation and in direction, but How are you saying it differently, one from the other? That also is of critical importance at a time like this. So part of what some of the things you can do is amplify the stay at home, wash your hands, hygiene, in very creative ways. Human first rather than consumer led approach to your messaging. So it's no longer about it's now about being human first. You put the human first, before anything else. And to have that face, for your business going forward. That's it from me. Any questions? But I'm sure that, if you have any questions, please type them up, as I've been told you by earlier on, type them up, and we will take all questions later on. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope this has been useful for you. I'm going to hand over now to CK, who I believe is ready to roll. Thank you very much, everyone.